After having canned jars and jars and jars full of dill pickles and relish and bread and butters and all that, I still have cucumbers. I don't want to can anymore. So as every year, what left over after the canning sessions, I turn into cucumber chips, flavored, unflavored, and also shredded for tzatziki and stuff like that. I wash them, not because they're dirty, but also because they have these little thorns, the cucumber thorns on them. And then when they're washed, I prefer to store mine in water in the refrigerator overnight. That's mostly because they are a little soft when they come from outside from the heat, and that'll firm them up. If you hand cut your cucumbers in little slivers, that's not a problem, but with the mandolin, the firm ones are easier to cut. It just slices nicer. Last one's in the fridge it goes. These guys are already dehydrated. These are shreds, shredded cucumber. And what you can do is you put some in there, because I am the ultimate lover of tzatziki. And then you can put the yogurt in, and this yogurt is not strained. Usually for tzatziki I would strain the yogurt so it's thicker. This is not strained because the dehydrated cucumber will thicken up the yogurt by using it to rehydrate. So this gets to sit overnight in the fridge with a little bit of salt and some squeezed garlic and then a little dill added tomorrow. And then this is yummy, yummy tzatziki. The mandolin makes it quick. Before cutting these, slicing them, the blossom end, this is the stem end, has the harder one, needs to come off. That's where the bitter things are. And then this goes fairly quick. Hand cutting obviously takes a little more time. And mine are about that thick. And then this is how thick they come out after they're dehydrated. If you want thicker chips for dipping, slice them thicker. And because they do get kind of small, they're great for crunching, for just eating like that. But I also always make some flat ones from the whole side of the cucumber. And these will be a little bit longer than once they're dried up to dip out. The huge pile of pickles is now pickle slices. So many. And pickle rounds, like pickle chips. So you may think you just throw them on the dehydrator and that's the end of the story, but that's not how it works. In fact, I tried it, and I will dehydrate some without going through the procedure first. But if they're dehydrated just like this, I think they turn out odd, because the skin is really hard then and the inside has this little tender crunch, and that's not as pleasant. So we are going to pre-cook these. We're cooking these, blanching them, cooking them. And also I want flavor on it. I want some neutral and I want some flavored with pickle flavor, and then there are options for other flavors as well. That yogurt from earlier, been sitting overnight. Look how thick it got. The cucumber slivers are now rehydrated and the yogurt thickened up at the same time, and there is a wonderful tzatziki. I'm gonna have this for lunch. I'm making the pickle flavored ones first. In my case, I have pickling juice left over. This was for bread and butter pickles, and I need to use it up somehow because I'm not canning anymore. We're drowning in it already. But you can use, like when you eat your own canned jar, and then you can use the leftover pickle juice from that. Or of course you can also use this from store-bought pickle juice. Or, hot pepper, jalapenos, any flavor you like will work. The secret is though to really, really dilute this. So what's on Pinterest floating around that says, slice your store-bought cucumbers and dehydrate them, well, you're going to be in for a ride for salt and vinegar. It's really not good. It's not good. I use at least 5 times as much water with it as I use juice. Just about the dilution like this is good. And then I'll bring this to a boil and then put the pickles in. Well, the cucumbers, they're not pickles. It's about to boil, and that's when I add them. They finally came to a boil, and they've now been boiling for about 2-3 minutes. I want them to where the skin is really cooked and where they do look cooked actually. And this will make them so much nicer when they're dehydrated. It's time to take these out and drain them really well. Pull them off a little, then get some moisture out, and then they go on the dehydrator overnight. Of course, it's not necessary to have a fancy brine like this. For example, this can be done with just vinegar and salt, and that makes vinegar and salt chips. Loading the tray is the most time-consuming part of all this. And see, up here I left 3 uncooked, separated by a noodle, so I won't forget, so we can compare it at the end. They're all chill, and then this one is terrified. All mine were pickling cucumbers, a little bigger than this. But of course, if you have nice slicers, this is a suyo long. They've been doing so well here in Florida. You can use them too, as long as they don't get too big seeds where the seeds are tough. The pickling cucumbers are seedy as well once they get bigger, but you want to catch them for this operation before the seeds get really tough. So this would still be good. Time for the dip slivers to go in. So these will be my big chip dip pickles cucumber slices. And here too I'm leaving 3 uncooked to see the difference, and also to see if there's a difference when it comes to rehydrating, because of course maybe one wants to dehydrate these and then rehydrate them to put it on a salad or something. Also, these are plain, but you could use one of these ranch dip things and sprinkle it on top, or this happens to be German, but this is one of the salad dressing packages. This works, just keep in mind to use a whole lot less than it looks, because it will shrivel up. Fresh out of the dehydrator. Makes quite a bit. Now you may say, well, what if I don't like these chips? We can still dehydrate them and then turn them into powder. And this is really good if it's sprinkled over salad, or vinegar and oil vinaigrette, if you mix it in with that. Really tasty. There are the examples. I'm not sure the camera brings this across the way I see it. These are the ones that were 3. One went into the stomach of a strolling by teenager. These are the ones that are dehydrated raw, just how they were. And these are the ones that were pre-cooked. Now these have a nicer color, there's no doubt about it. But the color changes with the brine too that we had in there. And these, hopefully they are kind of leathery and crack hard. This would be, let me zoom in. This would be really, it's not really hard. It's harder to eat than the pre-cooked one. They are strawier. It's dried out. It's a little bit like chewing on straw. Now these aren't this great culinary experience either, but as a dip, just for a little bit for snacking, they are perfect. And the same one with the slices. The color is nicer. The texture is just strawy. And these are more crisp. Look at that. This looks kind of artsy. So what I'm going to do now, I'll rehydrate all of these, all 4 samples, and we see how they come out and which one would be better to dehydrate to put, let's say, a couple slivers in a salad. A little bit of warm water in them, and then we'll let them sit. I'm not sure how long this will take, but they'll sit until they're rehydrated. There we go. It's been almost 4 hours since I soaked these in warm water, and the results are in. This was non-cooked, and they are, I don't know how to describe that. They're still kind of leathery. They don't look rehydrated much. They're soft, but And then these, on the other hand, the pre-cooked, they gained some bulk back and the skin is much softer. They really look so much better. And then these were the slivers. There too, they're still, yeah, leathery, I guess is the best description. So they take a whole lot longer to rehydrate if they haven't been cooked. These, on the other hand, are good. I'm going, out of curiosity, bite into this. That's impossible to eat. Oh, I'll take that out. I suspect they would have to rehydrate overnight if they haven't been pre-cooked. This one works pretty good. It's not the best, it's still chewy, but it works. So maybe dehydrating cucumbers to rehydrate them this way isn't the best. Like, nobody would enjoy this in a salad. But like with the tzatziki, with the shredded stuff, that's pretty cool. Or to make powder. But the best is the chips. The ones for the tzatziki, I do not boil them. They just get shredded. I add some salt and let it sit overnight, so a lot of the moisture already comes out and the dehydrator doesn't have to do that. And then they just go in the jars and they're perfect. You take out what you need and you're good to go. I'm actually not too big on sour cream, but I really love hummus. See, they hold up even with a thicker scoopy material. They could be made thicker. My mandolin is not adjustable, so that's the thickness I get. They are really, let's look at this. It's a mere shadow of itself. They are really, really paper thin. The thicker ones may be harder to chew. So these are good. I store mine in mason jars. I don't even bother sealing them, just a tight lid on, because they go quick. Lots of dip we can use with them. Thanks for watching.